All right, y'all. It's your boy DJ Ern1.
It's your boy Diff Hue.
And we back on the couch in Portland, per usual. And this is episode 61 of the Ern's World podcast. And if you didn't know, we are the home of culture, music, nostalgia, and novelty. So if that's your lane, tap in with us, rock with us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out there, be sure to drop us a like, comment, subscribe, share the pod with your people, and follow us on Patreon if you want some exclusive content. And if you're feeling generous, want to help us keep the lights on and shit, hit the Cash App. All money's not good, but all money is green. All right? Let's get into it. All right, man. So how you been?
Same old, man. It's like every time a motherfucker asks me that on this pod, it's like, we working on this music. This is all I'm doing, staying focused, completing songs, working on getting this shit released for the end of the month. I don't really like to say much about it until it's done. So, cooking up, man. Same old shit. Always creating. That's all you ever gonna get from me if you ever do ask about what's going on. Not even just here, just people in general. If you ask me what I got going on, I'm always creating. He knows.
No, he not lying. But yeah, it's been a interesting week so far, I guess. Not really too interesting, but kind of interesting. So. I was, we trying to create content. We always trying to create content. We always trying to create some shit, right?
No, hold on. Ain't trying. We is creating.
Facts.
You feel me?
You know what? No try. Do.
Yeah, exactly.
We are creating. So, we had a text message kind of conversation amongst myself, you, the homie Chris that was on for episode 59, and another gentleman out here in Portland who's trying to get some content created around his brand. So I feel like all this stuff is kind of starting to make sense.
Slowly but surely.
Fall into place. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, slowly but surely, but it's starting to happen. And also, even from a DJ standpoint, you're starting to, you got some shit going on over there.
Facts. It's funny you did ask me what I got going on. It's so crazy because, again, I'm the type of person, I don't like to, talk about things. I just like to do. So I don't really speak on a whole lot of shit until it's really happening, but it is funny because, yes, I did just solidify a residency in the local area at a local bar in the area. So we're working towards creating some events. Summer is almost here. Weather's looking nice, so we'll be doing a lot of outdoor events. I'm looking forward to that, and So, and I actually was just talking to the homie yesterday about you with the whole thing that you were just mentioning as far as production, because it's crazy because people who see that you got cameras, but people don't really know that this is a full in-house production. We really have a full in-house production. This is legit. I mean, we can legit make a movie. We have everything to make a full-scale movie. I mean, that was kind of the game plan with this, is kind of be able to create essentially your own TV studio from the crib. But network. Then, TV studio network, production house from the crib. And if you got homies that are really about that life and want to do it for themselves, I can then turn around and teach them how to do the same thing that I'm doing on behalf of themselves. And so just taking the knowledge I learned from just being an intern at NBC Universal back in the day and just throwing that shit back out into the community of people that have helped support me and that are willing to support me. Everything's coming back full circle, which is kind of what I've been speaking to people in my circle as far as in regards to what we got going on. Because in this position that we wearing a lot of hats. I was just telling Jeffrey Z this earlier today. I said, because I actually brought up the situation. I was like, there's not a whole lot of information I have on it just yet. But I was like, Ern's got some shit he's cooking up right now. He's bringing me on board, and it's some production shit. And I was like, basically, long story short, whatever's going to pop, we got our hands in all this shit. So whatever pops first, we got our hands in one of them. So it's like,
basically,
so whatever pops off, something's going to happen. And it's either going to be it's going to be in the media space regardless, but it's either going to be in the realm of music, movies, TV, it's going to be something in that space. And we've pretty much been solidifying our platforms in many different avenues. We want to be seen in every corner basically of media. And once we do that, we'll be a force to be reckoned with basically. You know what I'm saying? So that snowball effect is definitely happening slowly but surely. And motherfuckers had to be consistent. Like you always say, who gonna stand on the block as long as us? Because that's really what this shit comes down to is consistency. And you don't know how long it's gonna take. But to get to this point, it is a beautiful thing. And I just have to say that because, again, just talking to Jeffrey Z, he said the same shit to me, you know, with the whole residency thing. He's like, man, you come from Concord. He's like, I've been watching you. You came out here, you had a vision. You really been manifesting these things. And it's like, he's seen my journey. You seen my journey. You know where we both been on similar paths as far as really, we've had our ups, we've had our downs. But motherfuckers still here and we still pushing and we still making shit happen. And when you get to that point and look back and reflect on all the hurdles you went through to get to that point, of course you don't want to go back and relive those moments, but you do appreciate it. And it's like, damn, like if I would have stopped and gave up, I might not be right here where I'm at now. But because I kept going, it paid off. And it ain't even paid off money-wise, but it paid off in the sense of like, we got it, we moving, and we get into the bag. Because the relationships in the network is there. The work ethic is there. The vision is there.
Right.
So everything else gonna come.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, big things coming for us, yo. Just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess to kind of continue along with kind of how things are going over here, I don't know, I feel like I mentioned this maybe an episode or two ago, but I've been diving into like the film space from a photography standpoint. So I've been, you know, developing film from the crib and shit, mixing chemicals and stuff like that, you know, hanging up film rolls to dry and stuff, darkroom shit without having a darkroom.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but I definitely got to get sharper around like the development process, because there's certain times where it's like, damn, I definitely remember certain shots being on certain rolls, but it's like based on, I guess, how the chemicals hit the film and how long they've sat there. But then also like, shit, did I have my camera settings right when I took the shot that I wanted to see?
A lot of little variables.
You never know until like everything is done. And then also I used the squeegee this time, and I feel like, and it's crazy because I do remember the people at I'm gonna say the name of the camera shop is Blue Moon, but it's a camera store out here that specializes in film photography, right? And I was asking them about the whole squeegee thing, and they were like, yeah, you can use a squeegee to help your film dry faster, but there's also times where the squeegee might mess up the film. And I think I might have done that on a couple of the shots.
What's
like,
weird, I feel like when it comes to film, there's really no such thing as messing up shit.
True.
Because you can mess up something.
Unless there's just like nothing there.
Exactly. I feel like it seems like in this particular situation, fucking up shit actually creates some cool moments.
No, that's true. Definitely.
So you don't actually fuck it up, I don't think.
No, not entirely, I guess not. So I guess how you look at it.
But it's crazy because you was telling me how film is expensive, and I was like, well, my brain work, I'm like, there's so many cool, crazy things you could do with film to see what it does, but you got to spend the money on the film. But I'm like, dude, I be watching videos, and like, people be doing some weird ass shit. Like,
it's so funny you said that, though. Not to cut you off, but like, I bumped into a woman at the speakeasy we were at for Justin Emmanuel's birthday this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw me with the camera, and she was asking me, she was like, so if somebody wanted to get in the film and they didn't know much about, you know, film, what would you tell them? I was like, I would tell them, be ready to spend some money. Because, like, in order to take pictures, you literally have to buy film. It's not like digital where you can just clear your memory card out.
Right. And
then once you take the pictures, you got to either pay to get the equipment to develop the stuff yourself.
Is it American produced film, or is it all coming from out of the country?
All the film I have right now is Fuji.
Where does Fuji come from out of the country?
I want to say Japan.
Because with these tariffs, you're going to have to take that
that's
into
another
consideration.
thing. I'm like, yeah, be ready to spend some money because everything is material tied to like film. It's like,
but there's a way around this, y'all. Hit them estate sales.
Yeah.
Because no lie, I done been to some estate sales last year and because I'm not in the photography right now, I don't care. But like, I done went to some estate sales and saw mad film that you could have bought just film that you could have bought for the low. Old film too. So the estate sales is always the go if you want those one-off situations. You just gotta always look. You gotta look. I keep my eyes on the estate sales weekly.
Yeah, I think about it. I do have a few rolls of expired film at the crib actually here. I think I have maybe like 4 rolls of it. They're in. Dang, I'm like, where is that little film canister thing I have now? I think it might be over here, but anyway, I got a few rolls of expired films, so I forgot low-key forgot I had them, but now that you're mentioning them, I might have to
But
mess around with them at one point.
I know you had a news topic, but honestly, because we're already kind of talking about platforms and media, I feel like we should start with
that one.
Yeah, we should start with that one real quick since we're already kind of talking about it, and then we can get more into like the other shit later.
All right, that's cool.
But yeah. So basically, I'm about to show a clip that I had found. There was a chick sharing some news recently about Vimeo. They're basically wanting to launch a streaming service to creators to where they basically create their own streaming service for consumers. Essentially, it's our own platform, but it's under Vimeo. And it was an interesting take that she had on it. Mainly, it wasn't really a real take, but it's really more like a concern because she has questions in regards to what that looks like as far as ownership for a creator creating their platform underneath an umbrella that already exists. So I definitely wanted to have a conversation on that, being the fact that we're a platform working against the machine, and we know that independent is the route, but with the powers that be, there's certain things in place to where it's hard for us to strive completely independent. So that leaves us in the hands of these third-party companies. So, yeah.
All right, yeah, let's run this clip, I guess.
A new challenger has entered the streaming wars, and it's you. Hello, my name is Imani Von Jones. I'm an actress, writer, and producer, and today we are talking about how Vimeo wants to enable creators to all build their own Netflix-style streaming service. Basically, the same way that Squarespace allows people to make sexy websites without having to touch a lick of code, Vimeo streaming will allow creators to make their own Netflix-style streaming services, and there are a lot of incredible features straight out the box, including custom branding, support for tiered membership, support for live streaming and events, anti-piracy measures, and AI-powered translation so that your content can be viewed in any country. And this is not like YouTube where your content lives on their service. No, when you go to the Roku store or the Apple TV store, you will be able to download an app that specifically says your company's name and has your company's branding. Of course, I have to give my opinion, and I'm middle of the road on this one. On the one hand, I'm always pro democratization of art and taking power back from these major networks and studios. On the other hand, the streaming wars have already gotten out of control. And when you add up the cost of all your subscriptions, it's starting to look the way it did back when we had cable. So I don't know if I want to add more subscriptions. In the era of solopreneurs, I think this is going to most benefit people who work in groups, artist collectives and artistic friend groups. Get your friends together, workshop all your scripts, shoot them all, and then you can collectively go in on a streaming service together. My biggest concern, I want to read those terms and conditions. What are you guys doing with my content? You mentioned AI.
All right. Well, yeah. Sounds interesting.
I'm gonna let you take what your take on first.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, I definitely feel her on what she said at the end of her take. If you have a bunch of creative friends that have any type of like industry experience that want to go the independent route, now is the perfect time. This is honestly something I've kind of been trying to get people to think about throughout this entire podcast. I kind of been low key mentioning it every now and then, but like if you have people around you that are creative and you have any type of know how to do some shit, now is the perfect time to get together.
Facts.
Try and do your own thing.
Facts.
Make some money. The independent route. I'm not saying quit your job if you have one. But if you have some spare time floating around, use that to maybe learn something new. Pick up a new skill.
No, exactly.
Take a stab at a new side hustle.
It makes the most sense, and when she brought up the group thing, it was like it really hit home because that's exactly what we're doing. We already see the vision, but it definitely makes sense as far as coming together on a situation like that. Now, by yourself, no, but to create a full network, because like she said, everybody's already paying for multiple streaming services, so that's already competition of its own. Like you got to really bring something that's gonna make people want to spend money on that service that you're providing, included with all the other services they're spending money with. But I feel like it's way easier to do that if you had a collective of people that provide different things under one umbrella, because you might be able to market to niche markets within that umbrella. Meaning, let's say we and you, we start a network, and we may focus on music on one part of the network. We may have some art, just all different things that relate to us, but in different realms on the same network, to where different people can have something they can watch. It's not just a network that evolves around one thing. It's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? That may incentivize people to be more inclined to spend the money, because it's not like let's say you're a motherfucker that only dealt with sports, then your market is only sports. Now you're limited. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a network that shows, like, what if you started like an animation network, and you had like a bunch of different animators that did cartoons, and each cartoon was different?
Well, no, I'm just thinking
that might work.
I'm just thinking in general, just like the industry that exists out here in Portland, like all the homies that, for example, I don't know, work in the stop motion animation space, right? I've met at least 3 people that have all worked for Leica, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, if they get pissed off at Leica and decide they want to just, do their own thing,
right?
They all know how the industry works,
right?
Like, it only takes one writer, one puppeteer, a few people that know how to design the sets. Next thing you know, they got a whole crew to do like small little independent like stop motion commercials on behalf of brands. Because most of them have like little studio spaces inside their homes and in their dwellings. Like I've seen a few of them. I'm like, yo, like this whole little corner is just like where you like, so where I like put together little puppets and like put them in different God, why am I drawing a blank on this term? Poses.
Oh, that's a positions.
Yeah, positions, poses. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like it's a 50-50 slippery slope on that one, because there's always some back end stipulations. And then, they bring up the AI thing, which is scary right now, too, as far as like the thing that I don't like about AI. I like AI, by the way. Everybody knows me. I'm kind of like an advocate for AI. But the problem is, because we've had this conversation before a long time ago, it's the integrity. And unfortunately, these corporate companies don't have integrity. They don't give a fuck about none of us. Those are the people that's going to use AI maliciously, outside of like scammers. But like the corporate entities are the ones that's going to use AI in the most fucked up way. And unfortunately, that's the part we got to be worried about. If we're giving our IP out to these platforms, what are they doing on the back end with AI? Because unless you're saying we're not using any of your property to teach AI, unless they're saying that, then you can pretty much expect that AI is going to be involved somehow. So that's the thing you got to consider. And then all the extra bullshit, just like I said, we've already been in a place where it's just a lot going on in the industries right now, in different industries, in regards to music, media, streaming. There's someone I follow right now who's a lawyer, and they actually are talking about distribution services that are basically not being upfront about the contracts that are being signed between the artist and the distributor. And there's certain things like, we can take your shit down, or we can teach your shit to AI, similar to what these other companies similar to what these other companies are doing. But I'm making it a point that like every industry pretty much is got some type of like back end thing going on, to where it's not just fully you getting 100% of what you deserve. And I get it, they're providing something, so they need to get a percent of something. But there's always some bullshit, small print shit in underneath that never really is in favor of the artist at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, that's why I was.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was rocking with her for at least even mentioning at the end. Like, I still want to see the terms and conditions.
Yeah,
it's like, it sounds great.
It sounds great,
but we all know everything that sounds great isn't always great. It's like I said, all money is green, but all money's not good.
No, facts. So that's the tricky part, and you don't really know until you give it a try. So somebody's gonna have to be the test dummy for it. But overall, it sounds like a dope situation. My thing is, though, is Vimeo even that popular? I mean, this could be their rebrand in their direction to maybe save the company. But like, does Vimeo even Hey, audience, correct me if I'm wrong. What do y'all know about Vimeo, and are they profitable? Like, is it even a situation where, you know what I'm saying? I feel like because really the thing is, Vimeo has a name, right?
Right. They've also been around for a cool, like, how many years do you think they've been? They've been around for
At least
about
10, 15.
about 10, 15. Honestly, maybe even more than that now, because it's
But how they been able to survive? Because
actually
they don't seem relevant.
Because YouTube has only been out since like what 2006.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, so like probably like you're probably right, 10, 15.
They ain't been around that long. But I just
I feel
feel
like
like
they've been around since we were.
I mean,
since high school,
they're
right?
getting around, but I feel like they're just. I mean, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, audience. I just feel like they're not that relevant. Like we see it, but it's like who really like
It's using it.
who has an account for Vimeo? So if this is their way to revive the company, that's another thing to consider too, because it's like, is this really in favor of the creator or? And it sounds like I said, it sounds dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the concept is there, but it just sucks that it's just never that easy for independent person to just create these things themselves and do it. We always have to rely on some type of bigger entity to get these things done, no matter what. And it's just like, when are we going to get to a place where we can really do this shit? And I feel like obviously that comes down to funding, because I feel like you can really do this shit, but the money is the part that always dictates. You got a lot of access that's limited based off funds. You know what I mean? I feel like that dictates a lot of like how you can actually obtain a full situation on your own and not have to rely on any source. Because when you think about things like distribution, I'll give you one example, just distribution alone for streaming services.
Okay.
We don't know how streaming works. No one still knows. I don't even think these companies fucking know. They making money out of thin air with this streaming shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm being funny, but to an extent.
I mean, but you're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I remember even the conversation. What Snoop? I know what. Damn, I mentioned Snoop, but the conversation he was having like a couple years ago, he was like, yeah, like how much does an actual stream generate? Because like I see these companies making more and more revenue year after year, but the value of the stream doesn't seem
right
to be going up as it relates to it being favorable to the artists that are actually producing and creating the art that people are out there consuming,
right,
and spending their time on your platforms.
So when I use DSP as an example, it's the perfect example, because the reality of it is we don't have the control over streaming. So if we want to get our stuff out there, unless you know somebody in the inside, or you have some type of real money, because that's what it comes down to. Who controls streaming service and how do you get that access? Who's behind the scenes? This is politics shit at that point. And if you don't have power and money, you ain't going to be able to own your streaming platform. And so it's little things like that that kind of keep us limited, because if you're an independent artist, the only other option you have outside of that is physical. You have to sell physical copies at that point. If you're not selling physical copies, there is little small ways to monetize your shit, but unfortunately you still got to go through some type of third party to monetize it. It's just, there's no way around it. There's always gonna be some third party company that you have to use. You know what I'm saying? There's always some type of middleman. Unless you got real money, you ain't gonna be able to have that. Cause deadass, how the fuck does streaming work? I really genuinely want to see. Take me to a fucking factory and show me how this shit working. You know what I mean? Who's controlling this?
Even from an independent standpoint, it's tough because like I've noticed on these websites, these hosting platforms and stuff, it's like you still have to go through, unless you like, I feel like build out a website 100% from scratch with like code and stuff like that. You're still kind of limited.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these websites have limitations on how much content you can upload to the website.
Yep. Unless you spend some bread.
No, even after you spend the bread, there's still a limitation on it. Like,
well, but I'm saying, but
like
if
a certain amount of gigs of video footage that you can put up here, a certain amount of gigs of images you can use up here.
You could just pay somebody right out, or pay an agency to take care of all that and do it, but you're gonna be paying out the ass to keep. Right. You know what I mean? You're gonna be paying out the ass just to have the design look good alone. You paying for it,
and then you gotta pay to have somebody maintain it once it's built.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's a lot. So when I think of a situation like a streaming platform and a third-party company allowing us to do that, it sounds dope. But like she said, terms and conditions is going to be the main thing. And we just had a conversation off air before we shot today, because we had a homie talking about oh, I want to put
making
some music. I want to put some music out. I'm gonna just put it on SoundCloud. And I kept trying to tell him, bro, you need to get your shit together and protect your IP. And I feel like for us as creatives, there's two types of creatives. There's ones that love to do it out of the love and they just don't really care to make it a career. And then there's those that they love it, but they know that they want to make it a career. And if you know you want to make it a career, you got to focus on the business. And unfortunately, us creatives do not care about the business, and that's going to continue to hurt us. There's no unions really in entertainment for the most part. So we have to really protect ourselves and we have to look after each other. So if I see an artist coming up and they're not even caring about the business, you're already shooting yourself in the foot, but you're shooting everybody else in the foot in the community, because when you go through those doors and you go to that office, they're not looking at you and the talent. They're looking at what they can get from you. So as long as they can get what they can get from you, they're going to keep doing that, and they waiting on the next person just like you. So it takes people like me to educate and keep being like, yo, no, get your shit right. Protect yourself before you go through these doors, because they definitely are like wolves. They going to just take what they can get from you, and they play off ignorance. So when it comes back to what we was talking about with these terms and conditions, there's always going to be somebody that just sees the goal and the dangling money and be like, oh, we should definitely do that.
It's like that insurance commercial.
You know what I'm saying? And not thinking about what comes with that. So we just got to really be on that, because everything that shines ain't gold for real. And I feel like once we start taking more control of our IP as artists, that's when we're starting to see a more like healthier shift as far as things going. Because to be real with you, the shift that we getting right now is only shifting because people ain't happy because they getting fucked over. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't take people getting fucked over so much to be like, man, we gotta change. This gotta change.
But you know what's crazy? Word to like everybody that know that's like become successful from an entrepreneur standpoint, it's all people that like, I don't know, were in certain situations where they just end up getting pissed off about their situation, said fuck this, and started their own thing.
Yeah.
And just
that's how it always goes. That's how it always goes.
But it sucks that it has to be that way.
It does. But you know, the real ones prevail, man. The real ones survive.
That part.
What's next on topics?
Next on topics would technically what we had, I guess, first on the topic list, which is kind of ties back to the whole tariff situation. So I don't know if y'all been paying attention on social media or not, but a lot of these Chinese factories that manufacture and produce the goods for a lot of your like high-end fashion brands, think Louis Vuitton, Hermes, even from like a not normcore, but like just the normal fashion standpoint.
Hell, Nike.
Like Nike, Lululemon. They have been on social media giving up the secret sauce. And I mean, if you worked in the industry, you already knew most of this information anyway, so it's not really a surprise to you. But if you weren't a part of the industry, have never worked in the industry, and when I say the industry, I just mean like the fashion, like retail industry, right? You might not be aware of how much it really costs to produce or manufacture a particular good. So like, for example, this pair of Nike tennis shoes that I have on right here, realistically probably cost Nike anywhere from like $7 to $10 to make. Is that what they charge the consumers once they hit stateside, or just the marketplace in general? No. They get marked up like tenfold. So anyway, a lot of these people that are tied to these factories that are producing these goods have been literally just on the internet telling people which factories are the suppliers and producers for a lot of your favorite brands out there. And it's getting a little interesting.
They're calling this shit trade wars.
Yeah, so I got a video.
Is that what they calling it?
I guess so, technically. Technically it is. I guess it would be a form of kind of like trade wars. But got a clip of this woman over in China. I guess she's maybe a consultant, but she's just giving up the information at this point. So we're going to run that clip for y'all real quick.
Who are the suppliers behind Lululemon? Some of their yoga wears are actually from Xianglong Clothing and Huangqisheng Clothing. And guess what? Both factories located in Yiwu here. And these two factories also supply clothing for Fila and Under Armour. I guess most of you know the price of Lululemon or other big brands. They sell you a legging pants for $100. And guess what? Here in these two factories, you can get them for around $5 to $6. Crazy. And what's even better, the material and the craftsmanship are basically the same because they all come the same production line. See, this is why people come to China and looking for the OEM factory because they just can get the cheapest and best quality product from there and sell you, I don't know how much. All right.
You know what's fucked up? This propaganda, right? I don't like to get deep, but y'all know this propaganda. Y'all know this propaganda, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny, though, because America doing this to themselves, man. Like,
but I'm also not mad that China is doing this.
No, I'm not mad at all.
A lot of people need to wake up to the whole consumerism thing.
I'm not mad at it. I fuck with it, but it's like, I don't really support propaganda, but I think it could be used. It can be used in a positive way sometimes. I wouldn't say this is malicious. I think this is just a product of how America's moving, and it's like they gonna play the way they play too. So it's like I'm not mad at it, but I just think it's crazy because it's kind of similar.
I mean, there's definitely malicious intent behind it, but
it is, but it ain't. Because this the thing. They're playing off of the fact that they already know that most Americans, average Americans, we low key are fed up with this place. A lot of people low key don't like this shit.
That's where the malicious intent comes in.
Like, but I don't even.
They're feeding into it because it's like, oh, y'all already mad. Yeah.
But that's the part where I'm like,
now let's really drop the sauce on y'all. Y'all getting overcharged in tax for everything y'all paying for over there.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but is it really malicious though? Because like you said, we live in it. America's corrupt.
It is, but it's not at the same time. It is, but it's not.
Because at the end of the day, think about it this way.
It's one of those situations where it's like, damn, like.
No, it's not. You know why it's not? Because they show us news that they want to show us in America. The news that they show us on the TV, they select what they want to show us. They don't show us what goes on in the whole world. They show us what they want to show us.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying it's malicious for the impact it might potentially have on the economy. Because I mean, you know, the fact that people were already ignorant to the fact they were just, you know, continuing to pay what they're paying. So it's like now that they're not willing to pay, that now they're the informed consumer. They were the uninformed consumer. And you can pretty much charge the uninformed consumer whatever you want.
I do know if you're an entrepreneur right now, you got the plugs now.
You can't pull the wool over the informed consumer's eyes the way you can the uninformed consumer.
True.
So, like I said, they did it with malicious intent, but it was a good thing that they did it because it caused a lot of people that were not aware of the fact that they were being charged. They were being overcharged for what they're paying for on a regular basis, daily basis, from the brands that they covered the most.
A reasonable markup is okay, but
right,
you know,
but
especially when you know that a lot of these companies that was charging $6 to $7 for these items, they got hit with labor lawsuits years in the early days, so they was able to clean up their name a little bit. But the majority of these companies, low key, damn near all had sweatshops. Didn't Nike get hit with that years ago?
Yeah, Nike's definitely like notorious for being one of the brands that's been called out for like having sweatshops overseas. They had a whole like situation, I want to say like in the 90s, early 2000s.
I remember that shit. Big deal.
Yeah, a lot of jokes came out about that. Coming from the comedy space.
So at the end of the day, it's like you know these companies and how they move and the integrity that they got for the most part. It's a tricky situation, I feel like, in general, but I do feel like it's good to see and wake up. And I don't like propaganda, but I'm not mad at the way they playing the game, basically. And this is information, and it doesn't hurt to know. It doesn't hurt to know at all. I feel like a lot of people consume, and we live in a place where we are like we're damn near a part of a system and a number. They just want you to consume. They don't want you to think about shit. So it's cool that China kind of like retaliated off our ignorance and is now, or I don't want to say ignorance, but
they played into it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But they've been going hard lately, pushing that shit. And if you go off of what social media says, you would believe that people hate America, which it depends on who you're talking to. A lot of people aren't really fucking with this place. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, I definitely said a couple episodes ago. I was like, yo, if you thinking about coming over here and you don't live here already, stay your ass.
It's hard to tell people that though that come from different countries because they really genuinely be like,
depending on what you have going on.
But I be trying to tell people like, just because you come over here, and I'm not saying I get it. There's people out here that don't have, they literally like risking their lives just to damn near breathe. But just because you come here does not mean you free either. That's why I be trying to tell people, you just becoming a, you literally becoming a slave to
your situation is
something.
going to be that much better than what you were escaping from. Because sometimes you come over here with nothing and end up in a situation that is less than ideal. Still, even though you escaped temporarily the situation.
I think the thing is just that yes, America does have opportunity. There is. At America, you still have the opportunity to possibly get.
But here's the thing they don't tell you when you get your ass over here. America's very pay to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless you're aware of that already before you come over here, or have
but
like
most
a system,
people don't have
like
anything
a family
so
system set up that's already kind of established over here in the States that can easily help you assimilate into American society, if you will. It's gonna be tough.
I don't think that pay to play thing means anything to somebody that don't have a dollar to their name and just ready to get it. Most people that come out here that don't got shit, they be grinding like a motherfucker to get it.
But what I'm saying is, some people think that like that whole dollar in a dream thing still works for
No,
everybody over here in America. That shit don't work like that no more.
It don't, especially with the cost of living, and better not have no kids.
That part.
Better not have no kids.
Unless you got like a family system set up over here to the point where it's like, all right, you can kick it with us for X amount of time, so you can get on your feet.
Now I will say this:
we'll give you a car when you get over here, so you have transportation. Like,
this just me being a real one and knowing shit. I will say this: this ain't got to do nothing with anything, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. Now, if you speak a different language and you can speak English on top of that, then you might be the anomaly and you most likely will be good. If you can speak multiple languages and you come to America, or if you can speak multiple languages, go anywhere, I feel like that's the one thing that's always going to low-key get you in and out the door through these situations when it comes to jobs. Like, I think you can agree. Speaking languages, that shit is like a cheat code.
But at the same time, like, a lot of people speak multiple languages nowadays. It's like, do you have a valuable skill set?
But there's still a lot of niche opportunities out here that require.
But do you have a valuable skill set to go along with the fact that you speak different languages? Like, because otherwise,
sometimes that might be all you need, depending on.
Sometimes, but sometimes that's not all you need. Like, especially the way the job market is. Like, shit, we can find anybody that got a college degree that speak 3 different languages. Bet
right now,
and they got way more experience than you.
True.
So, I'm gonna go with this person over here, and they asking for like $20K less.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
That might not be the best example, but you know.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
What we got on next topic?
Next on the topic list. Your second joint. So I'll let you introduce that one.
Oh, was the DJ joint?
Yeah.
I guess we can go ahead and play it. I mean, honestly, nothing crazy, man. Just a guy having a little take on a DJ's the current climate with
It's this one, right?
Yeah, with DJ content on YouTube, and he just had his little opinion on it. So I just wanted to share that and chime in on it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and run that clip for y'all.
Something that has become very, very popular on the internet is like this YouTube DJ set in an apartment with 20 people in the background, behind the DJ, cameras everywhere. But I think, as anything, that style of DJing and I guess partying is like it's its own culture, I guess, because these YouTube channels like get a lot of views, bro. And I don't know what their process is to like pick the DJs to do their each event that they do. Because some of these DJs, I'm like, it's just very basic, and some of these like basic blends, bro, are crazy. And so I'm watching these and like it just seems very, very fraudulent to me.
What do you mean by that?
What this looks like to me is they set up these parties, they set up these cameras, they get these DJs on, and they're like, okay, everybody, we're about to shoot. Anytime the DJ makes a transition, anytime the DJ drops anything, I need you to react. That's what it seems like. And it's like, the DJ does literally what I learned by my 5th day of DJing ever. And people...
He not lying, bro.
And I think it's like I'm watching and I'm like, yo, no way, dude.
Stop the cap.
I'm like, yo.
You need to go out more.
I'm not.
You guys need to get
But
out
that's
more.
the balance of it, right?
Yeah, so as a DJ, what are you relying on? Are you relying on your ability to make cool transitions and technically be sound and put your spin on things, or are you just relying on other people's work?
Let you go first with your take.
I mean, look, you already know how I feel about I've peeped that in a lot of those videos where it's like, this person is not even doing that transition. Like, where it's like, yo, this person is very clearly playing somebody else's mashup, but this is a pre-recorded.
That should be so disappointing.
Blend. It's like, yo, like you have 4 decks in front of you. Find a way to recreate that blend in front of all these people, or that mashup in front of all these people. I want to see you actually DJ.
Yeah. That should be so disappointing too, because it's like, especially when it's a situation where you feel like you hearing something and you feel like you're hearing a vibe, and then when you look at what they doing, it's like, oh shit, he's not actually doing that. He's just playing a pre-recorded. Like, fuck.
Somebody telling me the other day that they were out when I think I saw something on social media where somebody was talking about how they were out, and they were like, yo, like it was on Threads. Matter of fact, and I wish I had I wish I would have liked the thread, but they were talking about how DJs were essentially cutting out other DJs tag or producers tags in their shit, in their mixes. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's corny. That's corny.
So not only are you using my shit, but you're cutting my tag out, which lets people know that it originally came from me.
I feel like this is an endless conversation though, because every DJ that actually cares about the craft is always gonna bitch and complain about this shit, and I feel like you're always gonna have those DJs that do this shit. It's just frustrating because you don't want to be gatekeeping and be mean and shit, but it's just like, why are you here? Like, leave. Like, why are you here? You know, it's like, there's people that really care about this shit, and those people that do that, they really think they be DJing, and it'd be so weird because it's like, you really genuinely think that you're doing something, and there's people that really actually do what you do, if that makes sense. So it's just weird because it's like,
or do what you think you're doing.
Well, exactly. Do what you think you're doing. Doing what you think, exactly. Because I mean, you want to be able to appreciate and respect somebody. You don't want to disrespect somebody. They're DJing, they're having fun, but it's like, are you really DJing or are you just playing some music? And I think that's also another thing that I'm starting to realize too, because you know me, man. I ain't the best DJ. I got a long way to go. But one thing I can say, I tell people this. I believe what makes a good DJ is somebody that genuinely appreciates the music. You have to appreciate the music first in order to be a good DJ, and I think everything else comes with it. But I do believe it has to be more than just loving the music too, because I done seen it, man. I seen a lot of people DJ and just be playing music and not get reactions. I've seen a lot of people DJ and get straight reactions.
But then it's crazy because the ones that sometimes get the reactions is like, are you doing the most mid basic?
Well, what I was getting to is gonna be what I was gonna say.
Even the fact it's mid basic, but it's just like, yo, like this ain't even like.
That's a whole nother group of people. I wasn't even talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that's actually doing shit.
But no, that's what I'm saying. There's people that are actually like doing stuff, and then people just no reaction to them actually doing stuff on the turntable.
And then people doing the corny shit.
Yeah, and it's like getting all the reaction. It's like, yo, what the hell? Like,
well, that just comes with the crowd not knowing better and certain people not knowing certain things.
But it's just frustrating to even just be in the crowd and see somebody or hear somebody doing something, and you just looking around. Like, obviously I DJ, so it's like,
right.
I'm aware of what I'm hearing, but it's like, yo, like nobody else is aware of this person doing what they're doing.
I think a lot of times too,
music.
I'm starting to realize too, man. I think a lot of times too is that, as a DJ, you got to find your crowd that you belong in.
But then it's also like sometimes where it's like, yeah, you be around other DJs sometimes, and it's like with people that call themselves DJs, and it's like they're not even aware that this person is like
not really DJing,
going crazy on the ones and twos, or
vice versa. Yeah. I feel you on that. 100%. I mean, it's like you, and then it's either you know or you don't, and you don't want to step on egos and be trying to tell people, oh, you know, it's never one of those situations. That's why a lot of times I try like not to be that guy. But when you're a purist, you can't help it. Cause you see things for what it is, and it's like, man.
When somebody mentions something, I get to not smiling, but I just be like,
shake my head. You know what I mean? As far as the YouTube content thing goes, though, you know, like everything, man, shit is always gonna be saturated. I like the concept, but you know, people always run with shit and run things to the ground, so it gets watered down. But I really still like the concept of DJing in a crib, and it can be organic. It's just that you always gonna get certain people that do some heavily
Yeah, it was like at that point, I would just much rather just produce
shit.
DJ content, unique spaces where it's not, where it doesn't feel like
Heavily produced.
and there's fucking bullshit ass people that don't necessarily need to be there in the background.
Facts. Because the real DJs is always going to see that shit. We always going to be able to notice, like, the authenticity.
Right.
In the shit. I would much rather have a crowd of people kind of chilling and not reacting versus a fake crowd, fake reacting.
That part.
Like, there was one where, there's one video, it wasn't even at the crib. It was like they're outside by the beach and it's breakfast. They're outside by the beach eating breakfast and there's a DJ playing while they're eating breakfast. That shit was cool. Motherfuckers is just chopping it up, chilling. Ain't nobody dancing. But they didn't have to because the set was cool. The atmosphere was cool and it just works. Sometimes you don't have to do a whole lot. So I ain't mad at a crowd in the living room getting hype. It just needs to feel organic. It can't feel like it's like forced or whatever. To be honest with you, I haven't seen too many of those to feel what that guy's saying, but I understand that it's out there and I know it is.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely out there. A lot of them.
I feel like I'm about to sneeze.
A lot of them out there. Bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
Oh, I felt that shit coming.
But yeah.
Oh, man.
How much more time you want to spend on this? Or you want to slide into something else?
I could talk about this shit a lot, honestly, but I don't want to get lengthy and overdo it. So I guess we can move on to the next topic, man.
All right, yeah, well, this one will be super short and sweet, but it helps us segue into another topic. So it's a little bit of unfortunate news, but it's not really anything that we didn't know realistically was going to happen. If you're familiar with how black people in Texas specifically get treated by the legal system. But our guy Tay K is
but he was a menace.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Our guy Tay K is not getting out official. It's official. The verdict came out, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago?
Something like that. That went, I don't know, some days ago.
So basically, he's not getting out. They gave him 80 years. He didn't get capital murder, so they're not, the state of Texas
Which
is
I
not
thought
going.
was funny because it's like
Yeah, it's like you might, I mean, but that,
like, bro, y'all might as well just.
But I mean, look at it this way. At least now, I know this sounds crazy, even me saying this, but at least now he has the opportunity to potentially still get out and get parole, which means at most he would have to just do half the time served, half his time.
Well, he already done did like 10 years, ain't he?
It ain't been 10 years, not yet, almost 10 years. But regardless, if he behaves himself exactly the way he's supposed to behave himself in there, which I don't know how likely that is realistically, but if he does, they're saying that he could potentially get out in 40 years.
40?
And they're saying both sentences will run concurrent. So technically the 40-year sentence that he got, or the 65-year sentence or whatever, will be outpaced by that 80-year sentence. So technically he only had to serve 40 years. But either way, he's not getting out.
Yo,
anytime soon.
I just had a Tay K in my most recent mix. You can check it out.
And it turns out that he actually was the person that was the trigger man during the situation where he robbed the cameraman at the Chick-fil-A.
He was a shooter.
Yeah, he was actually the person that shot the person. He was actually the person that shot him. So his girlfriend at the time ended up, I guess, being their witness to kind of.
And that's another thing, man. I saw the people in the comments talking about some like shaming this chick for like telling her truths. Y'all some fucked up people, man.
Because honestly, based on the way she broke it down, it seemed like she knew her boyfriend was a rapper and needed somebody to do some camera video work for him. So she tried to connect him with another homie that did camera video
Apparently,
work.
Tay K's sister was trying to say that he's been abused. I know they was talking about that too. I saw that I don't know if it's, I'm just reading what they said. They were trying to in court say that his upbringing, he was abused and things like that. And it could be, but you took innocent lives, man. I mean, what about the old man he killed?
That part.
What was that about? I mean, bro, and it's fucked up because as much as we like the project, I mean, Tay K shit is considered a classic in my book now. But
somebody made it, not to cut you off, but somebody made a very valid point on YouTube. They were like, damn, I didn't even think about this, but like the fact that he killed the kid for his camera, right? They were like, and he was shooting all those videos like he was on the run, right? But they were like, was that the video camera that he was using to shoot?
Probably.
It's like, dang, like.
So when you really think about the situation, it's fucked up because we were low key glorifying something fucked up, but it's not even like we were intentionally. And that's that's the scary, dangerous part about.
It's crazy because like we found because everybody heard the music, and then once they heard the music and realized they liked the music, they were like, wait, what? So and so was on the run. So and so was on the run for what?
He rapping about what he doing,
what?
and we still fucking bumping it, and it's just fucked up, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, like I gotta take accountability because we always talk about this shit. You know, I'm one of the main people that talk about this shit on the pod. Y'all know how I feel. So yeah, I can admit, like as consumers, we gotta take accountability for this shit, and it sucks to acknowledge and really see it for what it is. Because the reality of it is, this is the reality. This boy, his life is done. He took innocent lives away. He glorified it in a song. We amped it up and made it popular. But the reality of it is he ain't getting out. He probably ain't getting much money off this shit. And even if it was, it ain't enough for him to really do anything off of. So it's like, what did we really get out of this?
The money he could have got off of it, he'll never see.
What did we really get out of this outside of the music? Because once you move past the music and you really look at it for what it is, if you have like a heart, because like I said, I just said a minute ago too that I just played a Tay K track on my most recent mix, and I like Tay K, man. But unfortunately, we just got to do better as people, man. We put out negative music, we support negative music, and we don't like to acknowledge it. And I feel like, unfortunately, until we acknowledge that, you know, we consume negative shit, I feel like we're forever going to be in these situations. There's nothing wrong with having, you know, turned up shit and ignorant music, but we just have a balance. And I feel like this is a perfect example. And I hate using it because, like I said, bro, I like Tay K. Like, we literally be bumping this shit. But let's just be real. The songs were bad, and his run literally embodied negativity. Like, he literally took people's lives and made it a whole thing on the internet, and we literally ate it up. That's not cool, man. And I feel like if I can say that, more of us need to take accountability and admit it. If I can admit it and say that I was wrong for consuming it and glorifying it too, because we can sit here and say that we wasn't glorifying, but it's glorifying it if you're sharing it with a friend and you're saying, yo, listen to this, or yo, go check this out, you're glorifying it. It's just what it is, man. And so at least I'm conscious enough to acknowledge it. And now my part is, now what I got to do as a consumer is I got to learn how to like take in things with a balance, but also not take in so much bullshit. It's time we got to start reversing shit and taking in more positivity, man. Like, hip hop is not built around drugs and killing people. Don't let these motherfuckers, don't let society and the machine fool you into thinking that hip hop is about killing motherfuckers. No, it's not. We run the world. Urban culture literally runs everything, bro. I want people to know that shit. And when you know that shit, you realize the power that really is that we have with this shit. So I just find it kind of funny too, because we run everything, yet our own culture is used against us. That's the sad part. And it ain't even us but we play a part of it though. We play a part in using it against each other though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to what old boy was talking about on the podcast. Because when you say you're going to make a point,
yeah, which kind of this whole situation kind of segues into the next topic. So I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with the Grits and Eggs podcast, but it's run by a gentleman out of Atlanta named Deante Kyle.
Shouts out to him.
Yeah, super shout out to him. He's officially he the homie now.
Yeah,
he don't know he the homie, but he the homie now.
Facts.
I can't remember which video I found by him first.
Did you find a clip?
Yeah, I found a clip, but it was on social. I found a video by him on social media like some months ago, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, "This seems like somebody I would kick it with." I said, "Let me check this podcast out, see what he's talking about." And then I checked out an episode, and then after I checked that episode, I guess I was marked by the algorithm. And they just kept sending me his shit, right? But I wasn't mad at it because I didn't disagree with the majority of the things he was saying, if anything he was saying at all, to be honest with you, right? So this, like I said, the Tay K topic kind of helps us segue into this topic because Deante was saying that as a community, black people specifically, we need to do a better job of essentially uplifting our youth, the next generation of youth to come after this current generation, or this current generation of youth that we're currently seeing right now. And his point was that we should stop referring to them as YNs. I'm not really one of those people that really uses the term YN like that.
Me neither.
But after hearing what he said, and I'll play.
And if I did,
you,
it's never in a positive context.
I mean, even if when I hear people use it, it's either. Well, I mean, I can't really say it's never in a positive. No, it's never really used in a positive context. It's never. It's either never used in a positive context, or it's somebody using it trying to be funny.
Right.
And really, the whole situation is not really funny if you think about it, based on what people view the term YN as.
Right.
So I guess I'll go ahead and run this clip for y'all, so y'all can, and then we'll dive back into what we kind of think about it after y'all hear it.
The conversations that we've created in this space alone have changed the minds of thousands of people. We single-handedly turned the YN narrative upside down. We single-handedly did that by imploring empathy, by looking at those young men and seeing ourselves. I don't want to hear YN. Don't say that shit around me. Take it out of your vocabulary. Because just like woke and DEI, it's another way to call you a nigga. You could be 17 years old, valedictorian, with all the ropes, all the decorations. It's valedictorian of the school. Oh, the YN's in education now. That's how you sound. Like, that's what y'all would say. And you allow these people trick you and make fun of you, and then you adopt it and try to hee and ha ha. Everything ain't goddamn funny. Everything ain't funny, nigga.
Facts.
I don't find that shit funny. As soon as you see a black man and he young, you can tell he a young teenager or young 20s, you want to call him a YN. Stop that shit, man. Stop that shit. Don't let them trick you into villainizing yourself. Because what do you think they think when they hear YN? In their mind, they got a villainous teenager out of Chicago or Philadelphia with a ski mask on, ready to kill each other. That's what they think when they hear YN. Stop saying that shit. You can say nigga. Them, like everybody else, always trying to find a loophole into our fucking community, into our culture. They got all this shit to say about niggas, but always trying to find a backdoor into our culture.
Facts.
It's always our culture up for the taking.
Facts.
You don't never hear about black people trying to appropriate nobody else's fucking culture. The culture we have appropriated is violence, backdooring, two-facedness, jealousy, envy. That's the only thing we're appropriating. Let go of that shit, man. We can do this shit ourselves. Because there's a lot of industries that we keep afloat with our labor. There's a lot of industries that we keep afloat with our consumption. Us consuming their narratives about us keeps the prison industry afloat. You got young men out here right now knowing that they're going to go to prison, haven't even thought about college. It's all systemic. And if we keep feeding into the narrative of pointing and wagging our fucking fingers at each other, it's not going to change. Implore empathy. Implore love towards one another. That's how you change things. You want to know what's on these young men's minds? Go ask them. And allow them to speak. Stop wagging your fucking finger at it, because the thing is, they take a risk with their lives every day. You don't understand that type of risk, and they don't want to be talked down to. And the reason they're taking that risk is because they probably don't feel any love. And the young nigga narrative, the YN narrative, make them feel even more ostracized from the community, because now it's their elders, the people that are supposed to love them, turning their back. Trauma come from shit like that.
Yeah, he was talking that shit. I ain't gonna lie. He sound like me. You know how I get preachy on this motherfucker, bruh.
But nah, bro, I didn't disagree with anything he was saying at all.
Nah, facts.
You spot on.
And another...
Like the people were getting hung up on the fact that he said you can say the N-word, right? And they were misinterpreting what he meant by that. What he's saying is you don't have to speak in code the way
they do.
They have to speak in code when they want to label you as such or insult you and deem you as less than.
Right. Because it ain't their culture anyway.
It's not their culture, and they know they can't.
Which is one of the reasons why we took the word back.
Saying that in the first place, so it's like, oh, they've given us a new way to call them the N-word without having to call them the N-word.
No.
Because like if you think about it, a lot of these publications, these rap publications and just publications in general, are not run by people that look like us. And it's like the people that are publishing these articles, and there's even the whole like Marquise Morris or Marcus Morris. I can't remember which Morris twin it was. I'm sorry, y'all both look the same. It's a Morris twin. He's on the TV show with Stephen A. Smith, but he snuck in YN on national TV, and it's just like, damn, like, okay,
right,
this is becoming a thing now,
right. And then you got to be careful.
It's mainstream now. To use the term YN.
Another thing I want to piggyback off too is like LaRussell said another thing too similar. He was talking about how like somebody in the comments, he was like, man, how come, I can't remember exactly I don't want to quote exactly what he said, but basically in a nutshell, he was saying, how come when I point out something that's some bullshit, y'all able to get on my case about the negative, but y'all can't find any positive in it. It's like I'm calling out the bullshit because it's negative. And it's like people in the comments get on me for calling out the right shit that I should call out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all put the energy towards calling me out for saying something is bad, but y'all won't acknowledge the good shit. Like it's like the energy is always just like y'all. It's like y'all literally want to keep people at a certain place in a way, and it's fucked up because it's our own people. Like, and that's why when I'm on these platforms, like on a pod, I'm always getting kind of like anal about how we do things, because if y'all hear me, you can't ever say that I'm contradictory or hypocritical. You know why? Because I've been preaching this shit on the pod forever. I always say you gotta have balance. Don't use me as well, no, you can't use me as an example, because I actually lead by example. But I also say that you shouldn't put people on pedestals either. So with that being said, it's like, yeah, like I can lead by example, but you should be doing the due diligence to want to be a better person too, and take initiative and accountability for certain things. You can't go off of what I'm doing. I'm my own man. You know what I'm saying? So how I internalize and consume content ain't gonna be the same way you internalize and consume content. I can differentiate the two, and I'm also a very conscious person enough to know what I'm digesting. I know what I'm getting into. That's real shit coming from somebody. Ern knows. Like, I'm really somebody that came up on real hip hop. Like, I really was a kid listening to LL Cool J regularly. Kids wasn't listening to LL Cool J my age. Kids wasn't listening to Poor Righteous Teachers my age. Run DMC and Public Enemy, like legit on a regular. When I met Ern, low key, I started listening to way more like modern rap outside of just traditional hip hop. And he'll tell you, a lot of the shit that he put me on to, I used to hate. Why? Because I was a lyrical dude. I didn't care. I didn't listen to all that mumble rap shit, all that shit. I really didn't fuck with it. I was on substance and lyricism. Don't get me wrong. There was a few things that's on some turn up shit that I like, but for the most part, I've always been about substance. I've just now in the past 15 years have become more open-minded towards different sounds when it comes to music. So with that being said, I can listen to the mumble rap and listen to all the new shit out as far as this shit goes, but I've always been able to still acknowledge why I never fucked with it. And honestly, a lot of it was because of ignorance. And if I'm gonna consume it, it needs to make sense. So I gotta have a balance with that. I feel like most of us don't have balance. Most people like to listen to one type of music, and when they get on lyrical shit, they don't even have the brain capacity to want to even listen. But that's a personal thing. I do believe that has to do with ignorance, though. Like, and this is just my opinion. But I feel like if you are a person that don't want to listen to words or digest what somebody's saying, I'm just going to take that as you're kind of illiterate and ignorant. Because if you have a brain and you somewhat have some type of intelligence, I'm not saying that you got to listen to something lyrical all the time. But I notice that people that usually bash it are people that don't even want to take the time to digest anything. So that just sounds like you're ignorant and you don't want to take the time to learn something. You don't want to take anything in with substance. You just want to consume and get high. And while by get high, I don't mean getting high off a drug. It just means getting that dopamine hit. Just getting that quick fix. You don't really care about substance, something you could take home with you. And I feel like that separates a lot of people too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not. That's why the songs keep getting shorter and shorter.
Because of attention spans.
Attention spans. Also, people just don't have the attention span to actually listen to somebody actually give them a message over like a 4 to 5 minute shit. I feel like 4 minutes ain't even that long.
Would rather be dumb.
But over like a 5 to 6 minute track. Because some tracks back in the day used to be like, I'd say, well, I don't know what you said the average track was. Like, way
3 to 4 minutes. Well, if you're talking rap, 3 to 4 minutes. If you're talking traditional songs from like the 70s, R&B songs,
I mean like rap.
Okay, rap, yeah,
It's
three
like
to 4 minutes.
4.5 minutes at the longest.
3 minutes minimum, 2 minutes minimum. Well, the 10 minutes isn't modern now, but nowadays a song is like 1:45 to 2 minutes.
But I'm talking about like like DSP and shit. Like when people were like,
Yeah, you a good 3 minutes.
yeah, like
3 to 4.
5 minutes at the longest,
Yeah, facts.
typically.
Usually that's like features,
Right.
or you just got a 3-verse situation. But yeah, I don't want to get too preachy either, but it is a lot to talk about, and I feel like, you know, me being a black man, me trying to preserve, I don't like to use the word try, but me preserving the culture and preservation of us, because that's the thing too, is like me being black is bigger. It's like, I don't want to pull the race card, but unfortunately we got a bigger duty, man. Urban culture is our culture, but the thing is, preservation of the culture is literally preservation of black life. We just had a conversation on it. We just had a conversation about Tay K. Bro is literally in prison for the rest of his life. And he in a prison for the rest of his life from actions, but he was able to make music through it.
Yeah, it's just a shitty situation all the way around. Like, multiple people's lives were
Multiple people.
ruined by those situations.
Yeah, it's tricky out here. So it's like, yeah, I do feel like it's my duty, because when we don't take care of the culture, we kill ourselves, and we're seeing it. Motherfuckers is dying left and right. Motherfuckers is on drugs. Motherfuckers don't got no sense of direction. We don't. I mean, hell, another thing too. Just since we're still talking about this shit, another news topic. Matt Ox just got arrested. Now he ain't black, but still, the influence is real.
YW.
The influence is real. He just got arrested recently for drug possession. Unnecessary.
The YC.
Unnecessary. Because at the end of the day, we influence a lot of shit. And that's why I was trying to tell y'all, like, don't let the machine trick y'all into thinking that hip-hop culture is about the shit that y'all see. Because it's not.
It's not.
It's not. We ain't never been about that. That's some whole other shit that they doing, and it ain't got nothing to do with urban culture. That does not represent us. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could go all day about this shit. Let's go ahead and,
Yeah.
Shout out to bro, though. What's his name again?
Deante Kyle.
Deante. Shout out to Deante, bro. Yo.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you're looking for another good podcast, tap into the Grits and Eggs podcast.
Holla at us, Deante, man. We would love to do a phone call with you one day, man. I feel like we can get that shit popping.
Yeah, I'd love to chop it up with bro.
Straight up.
Seem like a cool dude. Aside from all the stuff he has going on with the media stuff. But yeah, so people, if you're out there, you're rocking with the convo so far, drop us a like, throw us a comment, or even sub if you haven't yet. If you want to donate, hit the Cash App. It'll be up here in the episode throughout periodically. But we also DJ, so if you want even more music than the music we already provide for y'all, slide over to our websites and tap in with us there. They'll be in the banner below if you're looking for them.
So we're going to take it to a lighter note, y'all. I know we kind of got on a little tangent. Past few episodes, I feel like we've been kind of serious. I feel like we always get kind of serious, and then we, get on a lighter note.
I mean, like you said, we got to have a balance,
You're right. So we going to get a little playful. You know what I mean? We going to take it back memory lane. Y'all know how I do. I always like to find something that is nostalgic, that kind of, takes us back. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? How many of us grew up on Fisher Price toys? And then I ain't going to get too deep. If you don't know what Fisher Price is, Google the shit. You should know by now. But every kid that I know, for the most part, has, even if you didn't grow up with it, you've seen a Fisher Price toy at one point in your time. If you didn't see it in real life, you saw it on Toy Story. You know what I mean? I mean, these are iconic toys that have been around for 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years. So I thought it was interesting because I was actually at a friend's house yesterday and saw a toy, one of those, the sand pool. I forgot what they're called. It's the little thing where you pull the lever down and the little thing spins.
Oh, the little spinny wheel joint.
Yeah.
With the arrow.
And it was crazy because I looked at that toy.
Almost like the little Price is Right wheel.
Right.
Kind of sort of for kids.
I looked at the toy and was just like, you know what? this is a generational thing because my little sister knows nothing about that. And that's like a cutoff. And then when I look, I just stared at it for a minute. And I was like, man, this is low-key a relic of the past. Because as a certain age, that was a common toy. And then that's what kind of struck the whole Fisher-Price thing. And I just went down a whole tangent. So long story short. Earlier, I watched the history of Fisher-Price. We're now about to check out the most valuable Fisher-Price toys in history.
Right, so we're going to run this video for y'all.
Yeah, exactly. The most valuable Fisher-Price toys in history. And some of these toys you guys might recognize.
Since 1930, this incredibly popular Fisher-Price toy line has been a staple in many a household, with iconic creations like the Viewmaster, Power Wheels, and the Little People. And nostalgia can be profitable as well as
So
powerful.
crazy seeing the different
Today, those
different
cherished
generations of the
childhood
toys, too.
toys
Right.
may award you with some serious bank. Today, we're tipping you off about the most valuable Fisher-Price toys that may be gathering dust in your closet right now. But before we do, why not subscribe to the Weird History channel? Then head down to the comments and let us know what other nostalgic novelties you want us to appraise. For now,
Shout out to the
though,
Weird History
it's
channel.
playtime.
Saw that shit? It
What?
said make history of the yo-yos, one of the examples.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you're
I
looking
missed
to
out
make
over
some
here.
real coin, all you need are the right kind of fake coins. Since the 1970s, Fisher-Price has been making real money by selling fake plastic coins. Over the years, the toy tycoon has made many different versions of the plastic currency, and people wonder why inflation is such an issue. But if you have specific vintage coins in your toy box, you could be sitting on some serious scratch. The rare Fisher-Price coins in question were manufactured in 1974 as part of the widely popular Fisher-Price cash
I
register
feel like
set.
I remember
Parents loved it
there
because it
being a
taught kids
cash
all about the
register.
value of saving
They had
and
they
spending
changed.
money.
They had
But it looked
modern ones.
different. Yeah, but it
Loved
looked different.
because kids like colors. They tend to like toys in general. Regardless of how the playset was received in the 70s, a group of 10 near-mint vintage coins totaling $1.70 in Fisher-Price denomination sold for a whopping $777.77 in an online auction. Who needs
That makes sense. You know why? Pause for a
cryptocurrency?
second. But I was gonna say the reason why that $700 makes sense is because what I was gonna say was that does make sense as to something being that much, because when it comes to toy pieces, it'd be hard to keep up with them shits as a kid. So if you able to find little pieces like that and they together, that's why that motherfucker's so
I
expensive.
mean, all it takes is for you to just bought that shit for somebody for Christmas and they never opened that shit and you just found it in a storage unit.
That rarely happens. I mean, it happens, but
It had
it
a
happens. It
walk-up
happens.
counter, a cash register, and a grill fryer combo that really sizzled.
That's all it
It
takes.
was
Yeah, I
the
bought this joint for my
Fisher-Price
nephew.
McDonald's restaurant, and it did it all.
Fisher-Price
Except
McDonald's
have
restaurant.
Succession star Brian Cox appear in your playroom to sing the McDonald's jingle.
Oh, did they make the play place?
Yeah.
In 1989, to get kids ready for
Not
the
play place, they made
delicious
that.
realities
Oh, I
of
thought they were about to say they
capitalism,
made the play
children
place.
from
No.
ages 3 to 7 could work in their very own McDonald's franchise right in their living room. Dibs on playing the divorced assistant manager. Part of a larger series of fun, fast food-inspired toy sets, each tiny burger joint
kinda
came
cool,
with
though.
its own unique accessories and add-ons.
But terrible at the
Finding
same
the
time.
complete play set today is almost as rare as a McDonald's with a working ice cream machine.
Encouraging kids to
An
eat
complete
fast food.
set in good condition was sold on eBay sans instruction manual in
For
November of
600.
2019 for
I've
around
seen the set. I've
$600.
seen separate
So
things. Like,
imagine
I've
what kind of
seen
cheddar the
pieces.
whole
I've never seen the full
shebang could
set.
Bring in. Sorry, not cheddar. We meant processed American cheese.
What year the table's from again?
I don't know.
As a kid, it seemed like every house you went to had some version of a Fisher-Price castle.
Yeah.
The millennial generation may
I had
remember
that
the
one.
1994
Yeah, we had the
castle
gray-
set
the
that
gray
was the
and
talk
green.
of any
Yeah.
playroom. As for our Gen Z viewers, Fisher-Price castles are a total
You
slay.
have one?
No cap.
I had all of them.
You
I had
can
the
find
pirate.
the predecessor
Never
to
had
this
one.
classic
I had the
castle
Cowboys,
only
I had the
90s
video
kids
game.
Remember, if you
That was a big
roll the
deal for me.
calendar back a few more decades to 1974, and feast your eyes on the Fisher-Price Little People Play family
They even had a
castle.
Robin Hood
And
one.
how's this for disco?
Like a Viking
the 70s
one,
made
some shit like
medieval
that.
set came with a king and queen, prince and princess, righteous knight, and a pink dragon. George R.R. Martin could never. Then there were multiple accessories, including furniture, beds, thrones, and horses. Basically, everything you would expect to find in a castle, but in the comfort of your own rec room. Oh, with the exception of plague rats. Those came in the Whitechapel playset. A complete set without the box will auction off at about $300, so a listing with the box should scrounge up at least $301.
From what year though?
I don't know.
Any year.
Little people can be worth big money if you're playing the game right. In 1990, Fisher-Price released a McDonald's restaurant where all the little people could go to eat their little extra value combo meals and throw up their little French fries in the tiny ball pit in the miniature play place. We have to imagine the balls in that ball pit were microscopic. The set was modeled after the real McDonald's restaurants and included 31 of the aforementioned little people, 9 cars, some fast food items, an adorable little drive-through window, and for some bizarre reason, Sesame Street characters. Elmo may hate Rocco, but Elmo loves his McNuggets. People were loving it so much that a set recently sold on eBay for $339.99. Think of how many double quarter pounders that kind of little people money could buy. We dollar menu ballin'. The Little People Nursery School was a toy playset that hit the shelves in 1978.
$9.99.
In a somewhat
78,
meta
though,
situation,
1978.
kids would play with the nursery school in their own nursery schools, presumably creating a recursive nursery school loop that little Scott Bakula is still quantum leaping his way through. The set included some wooden little people, some playground equipment, and a yellow school bus. It could also be folded up into its own little carrying case, sort of like if Michel Gondry retired to become a preschool teacher. If you managed to save the whole set for 4 decades, you could be looking at a cool $300 for the lot.
That's it.
One recently sold on eBay, mint in the box for just as much. Incidentally,
saying,
that's just
bro.
about as much as a month of real-life
Somebody just accidentally find one of them joints like a storage unit or a
turning out to be one
closet.
of the most reliable scholarship programs
Somebody
in
never
years.
opened. Just found one at grandma's house or something like that.
If
One
you
of the
grew up
grandkids
with
never
Fisher
played
Price
with.
toys in the house,
Oh, there you go, look.
you
That
might
go
want
little-
to see if you still have some
You
lying
see it?
around.
The little speaking
You
seat thing.
could be sitting on a nostalgic gold mine. Hopefully not literally. If stepping on a Lego hurts, sitting on a Fisher-Price house must be a disaster. Complete sets are what the hardcore collectors are after. But since those major sets include so many accessories, some parts are bound to be missing. So auction lots with random parts can help make up the difference, if someone is willing to
Yeah, if you
cough
got a
up the
rare
dough.
piece.
And we don't mean Play-Doh. That stuff doesn't appreciate. It's a bum investment. A recent eBay seller offloaded a mishmash of their old Weebles, haunted house, and camper figures for around $500.
Wow.
Not too shabby for
Them
whatever could be
estate
scraped
sales.
up from the bottom of the toy box. For this next item, we're going all the way back to a time when gas was only 40 cents a gallon. 1970, the year Fisher-Price originally released the Little People line of toys. Included with that launch was the Little People Family Action Garage, the OGs, the Trailblazers. Take a knee and just think about how much these itty-bitty investments are worth. Even though this extra vintage set only boasted a few accessories, including cars, a car lift, detachable gas pump, and working elevator, it's a hot item for retro toy hunters and anyone looking to play the Fast and the Furious. After all, it is a family garage. All these accessories and a good condition garage
That
could
markup
fetch you up
crazy,
to
$8.99.
I
$300
remember the
if you
family
find the right
collection
buyer.
garage from
And
our
if you really
generation.
wanna
Yeah, I
go
had-
for
I had
a
that
still had
too.
the spiral.
Try to convince them to pay you even more.
That's funny.
For no good reason.
It's crazy. They just make this. They just make new generation versions.
Yeah, I guess updated.
In the 1970s, people were freaking out about Sesame Street, mostly because they had never seen a
Big
talking
Bird.
bird before, let alone one so gigantic. To
You've seen all the
capitalize
big
on
birds from like
Muppet-tastic
other countries, right? I
success,
showed
Yeah,
those
that's
to you.
very
Fisher
crazy.
Price released 2 Little People Sesame Street sets in 1975.
There were some black people in
each
there,
with
too.
its
Look at
own
that.
different characters.
Yep.
All the heavy hitters were there, including Bert, Ernie, Big Bird, Cookie
That set probably
Monster,
go for money,
and
sitting in that
even
box.
Mr. Hooper.
That Cookie Monster
Every
looked
Sesame
crazy.
Street kid
Right.
remembers
His
the day
eyes.
they
Right.
got their Mr. Hooper figure. Anyone hoarding one of these bad boys with all the accessories in a box could be sitting on a cool $289 at auction.
I'm just like, how was that
At
only
least
worth
that's
that
how they were
much?
going for in
I mean,
January
it's
of
Fisher Price, and it's 2020. It's probably worth
Based
more
on
now.
what we
2025.
learned about clocks from our years
But
watching
still,
Sesame
I'm just
Street,
like, what the
they've
heck,
only
like-
become more vintage since then.
And that's a markup crazy, bro. That shit was like $8.99.
In 1973,
Yeah, but
Fisher
still,
Price
bro.
released the Little People Play Family Village that included approximately 100 billion accessories for your little brother to swallow and or lose. And if you wanted bang for your buck, this was the set to get. Included in the set were about a dozen different little people, each with their own cars.
That
There
little
were
girl
also
looked like
specialty
AI.
cars like milk trucks, fire engines, and police cruisers to round out
the
this
picture looks-
multi-store, multi-level city block. Oy, is there a one-bedroom apartment available to rent there? Because rent is pretty bad right now. All those pieces are hard to keep track of, but if some responsible individual happens to have all of them, they could expect a fat payday of at least $270, which is how much an incomplete set sold for in 2019.
See, that's the incomplete, and that's 2019. So in 2025, that box is probably worth a good $500-600 maybe.
Yeah, we got a little bit of an ad, so I'm gonna let this.
You can skip it.
I'm about to skip it now, but I just didn't want it on the screen. But yeah, that's
Let's
crazy.
talk
Incomplete.
about the Little
I
People
remember the
Play
farm.
Family Farm. Jeez,
Definitely remember the
these
farm.
kids really love to play. Don't they have errands or a job? On its surface, the LPPFF is exactly what it sounds like. A toy farm playset
his
for
eyes.
kids. But in 21st
Weird.
century terms, that acronym translates to
Like, what are you looking
Little
at
People Providing
so
Fabulous
intently?
Fortune. Aside from the cute plastic animals and farmers, this 1968 playset also had a set of barn doors that gave off a moo sound. A recent set in November of 2019 sold for $224.99, just in time for Christmas.
It's like, how was it
Nostalgic
not more
boomers need
expensive than
toys
that?
too.
Some shit from the 60s.
Are you a fan of houses that
It's
can
a complete
double as a
set.
little suitcase? First, you have extremely specific interests. Second, you'd probably love the Little People Play family house. This little playset from 1969 is worth big bucks if you could find a complete set. It's highly sought after by collectors, but nearly impossible to find in full. A working garage door, a set of original furniture, and the corresponding Little People will fetch triple digits in an online auction.
That's why I'm
If you're
like-
willing to part with it, the Little People won't judge you.
Why is it not worth more?
The two words that are bound to send toy collectors into a rabid frenzy are the words vintage and limited, like a really sick pair of blue jeans. Now, this next one's manufacture date of 2010 may not be vintage, but it sure was limited. And 1 out of 2 is enough to make your toy worth a lot more than your
1 out of
folks
2?
paid for it. The Fisher-Price Geotrax Railroad Train set was exclusive to Toys R Us stores. And since those aren't around so much anymore, the demand for these limited edition choo-choos has only skyrocketed since. It's just a shame Jeffrey
I
couldn't
didn't
ride
know
in
those things
them.
were limited
The
edition.
Geotrax set boasts a 16-piece train track.
remember 'em, though.
Not one,
That
but
was
two
$99.99.
movable streetlights, a spot-lit skating rink, and even a little bridge that plays Christmas tunes. Scoot your caboose, Polar Express. There's a new Christmas train in town. If you're feeling nostalgic for the simpler times of 2010, and your pockets are particularly deep, one of these sets was recently listed on eBay for around $623, or the price of one giraffe train ticket. Jeffrey has earned it.
That is insane.
So what do you think? Did you play with any of these hidden
That's
treasures
crazy.
growing up? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from our weird history.
All right, well, so a little fun segment. Interesting. A lot of stuff I forgot about,
Facts.
but some stuff I vaguely remembered seeing. So that was cool. Damn.
Right.
Fisher Price. Been around for fucking forever.
Holding it down for us.
Holding it down for everybody. Because I'm pretty sure some of our parents played with
Definitely.
some of the shit they showed us in that that movie. Not movie, but in that video we just watched. But yeah, so now we're about to hop into the music video portion of this podcast. So the first video we got for y'all for tonight is by an artist named Skodi or Skodi. I'm not sure exactly where she's from, but the name of the song is called Jayson Tatum.
Okay.
I ain't worried about a nigga. Where the cash at? Said I'm too toxic, so I told him where I has Matt. Big mink on just to cover up my ass crack. Asking for my number, so I sent his ass my cash app. Allergic to a cap, I had to go and pop a Benny. Retired Casamigos, so I'm sipping on some
Whoever
Henny's
mixed this
kinda
need to turn the
big.
volume
I'll
up.
peek out the window of the rainy new car, new clothes. When I pull up to your city, I could dog a nigga out. Best believe
Beat
he still
going,
gon'
though.
hit me. Get the guap, one call, say my number on the ching. Many niggas want me dead, so I walk around like 50. Every bullet hit his body, catch him lacking while he shitting. That's a shitty situation. Back to the base. Niggas trap stars, told them go and call some aces. Never left the country, but they treat me like an A-list. If you ain't talking money, bitch, I'm running out of patience. 8-inch platform when I'm stepping on these niggas. 5'3", but on the money, I could tower over niggas. Came in, back doors, get scared for these niggas. Poppin'
See, I didn't
niggas
make it this far when I was looking for these videos.
Niggas acting goofy, we can bury him at Disney. Swimming with the sharks, tell the ops to get in with me. Go and fill him up with lead, let the poison kill his kidneys. Have to make it back home, you can catch me out with Siri. Niggas say they love me, tell them donate like a charity. Catch me out here lacking non-existent, that's a rarity. Niggas swear they killers, but they out here moving scarily. I've been spitting bars, never need a beat to carry me. Fumble on the play, they can't even run a 4 flat. For 5 out the window, better push a nigga with back. Been across the country, I hate posting where I be at. Shorty said she want the one, I told her let me get that. I'ma keep on shooting till it's Tatum in the clip. Yeah, my money do gymnastics, I'm assaulting when it flips. I'm a hot young nigga, it gets scary when I trip.
So it's Tatum in the clip, so it's nothing in the clip.
Creeping through the house like it's fancy on my Pumas. Don't know how to be a lady, I was raised around with shooters. I don't really want no purses, all I really want is Rugers. Running through a nigga pockets, you too focused on my tutor. I'm a rich young bitch, I don't gotta state the obvious. Fighting over crumbs while your pockets filled with pocket lint. Can't afford a bitch, better find another cop to kiss. Screaming man down, cause my shooters never shot a miss.
All right, that was Jayson Tatum by Skodi. All right, what we got on this next? What we got next in the lineup is from an artist from South Carolina, actually. Did you know this artist was from South Carolina?
Who?
Toro Emoy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, bro, it's from South Carolina.
For real?
Yes.
Hey, hold on, what?
Yep.
What part?
I do not remember off the top
Do we
of
know
my
people
head.
that we know?
I mean, he might. But anyway.
I mean, do we know people that he
I don't know. I mean, he's famous now at this point. So
I mean,
like,
yeah, but like, so you got to start somewhere. I didn't know that, yo. I never really could get into him, honestly. He never really like he didn't do much for me personally.
Well, the name of this song is "Walking in the Rain," and it's by Toro Emoy.
We usually don't show big acts either, which is kind of weird. This might be the biggest act you show.
No, it's not.
It definitely is. Damn, he from South Carolina for real? What part?
Good evening, everybody. We're closely monitoring a massive storm system, which has just made landfall. We're going to go live to our correspondent, Chad Burdine, who is right in the heart of the storm. Chad, what can you tell us about the current conditions?
We back like bad teenagers, so sad it's not contagious. Please stay and entertain us, like Beckham and Victoria.
Oh, he's from Colombia. I ain't know that. I didn't either. He switched up his sound. He didn't make music like this.
He sound like Nav on this song. He sound like Nav, right? Am I tripping?
Kinda, but
I would have hated shooting this video getting wet like that.
one thing I do like about him is that, like I said, he always has a different sound. Like I follow him enough to know that, like, I don't listen to him heavy, but his sounds are always different. Like every project's always something kind of different. Like this song is definitely different from shit he normally makes.
The sky just opened up and made a masterpiece.
We're just getting word that the storm has altered course and is now directly overhead. Chad, are you still with us?
Golden light looks like
Interesting video though.
Right.
You said was Walking in the Rain by Toro Emoy. The next video we got in the lineup for y'all. We sliding up to the northeast to Beantown. That's Boston, in case y'all were wondering. About to go fuck with Cuzzo Stizz real quick. So this is cousin Stizz, Who the Shooter.
Yeah. Got my vest on, feel like the Warriors. But real for this long, there ain't some more of us. A YSL bouncing on the corridors.
And for anybody wondering, all the music we feature in these podcast episodes will be available in the Jam Sesh playlist. It is available on Spotify and Apple Music. In case you're wondering, over here.
You fall, you dust yourself off, you straight. Tunnel vision once you bought it, get to hate. Let's go. I got us this far, just betting on the self. Was taught to stack up and do it on the stealth. So he's swimming in them waters like he Michael Phelps. Keep a bitch up in the house, it's never lose a count. Bro got his sentence maxed out, try and move him south. AR, I show him what I'm about before I show a doubt. And shorty love me up and down, but I can't go without. Tryna strike my heart, you the shooter, baby. Bro lined the Benz inside the wall so that I knew they safe. Hit the road a million times to get it moving, baby. But I'm still right there when you call, you know I won't be late. Tryna strike my heart, you the shooter, baby. Bro lined the Benz inside the wall so that I knew they safe. Hit the road a million times to get it moving,
all his beats go for real. Like, one thing I've always spoken from artist standpoint, beat
me
selection.
and my baby lead the club straight into the trucks and do 100 to the crib, kicking up the dust. Thanks. I had to cut you off once you lost the trust, but if you got me on the team, you know I come in clutch. The real talking, little nigga, hush. My OG told me you gon' starve it if you can't adjust. And you spend less time holding money, holding on a grudge. But if you face instead of running, you will cut above. Yeah. So victory, my payback, we set up ASAP. Then get rich like daddy came back, I call it money that. Girl, you made my day, how you hit me up from way back. I'm still on the same page, she's like Monterey. Tryna strike my heart, you the shooter, baby. Bro, line them bands inside the wall so that I knew they safe. Hit the road a million times to get it moving, baby. But I'm still right there when you call, you know I won't be late.
I fuck with that. Smooth shit.
Yeah, that was Who the Shooter by Cousin Stizz. All right. So now we about to hop into the Jam Sesh.
Jam Sesh.
So, the first song of tonight is by Nicholas Craven and Ransom.
Oh, they got a project out together? Or is it new or old?
I think it's old, probably old. The name of the song is Homefront.
Shout out to Beavis and Butthead, man. Y'all inspiration.
Yeah,
one of
these
the
things that
inspirations.
come out you haters' mouth. Let's play this out. Niggas act like they make the same amount.
You
They
know,
playing
hold his head
both
up
sides of
straight.
the fences, but still afraid to joust. So I ain't got no ops. I got niggas mad that I
leaning.
made it out. Let's lay this out. This shit don't add up. So we gotta make it count. These rappers on the east couldn't hack
ugly
it, so
ass
they had to
motherfuckers
make
too,
it
bro.
bounce. If you ain't got no F's on your jacket, you had to play the house. They can't make an arrest on that package if you don't claim the route. That fame and clout, that's what this ain't about. I used to hide my dope inside Lorena's couch. I don't have to explain this out, so save your doubt. Us going back and forth would be useless. Cause once I made history, niggas just made excuses. I
This
don't
song been
engage
sitting in
with
the
the
playlist
foolish.
for
I'm
a
too
playlist lineup
tentative.
for the longest,
Cause
so I
my
was like, let
brother
me go ahead
died in
and
2
run
minutes.
this.
Time is relative. You better live. My
about
set
it,
of ribs got pain and I think it's from hunger. We ain't all in the same boat if you sinking me under. I don't shy away from the rain. I don't blink when it's thunder. I track fire on this terrain. Niggas shrink on the tundra. I wonder if all y'all niggas got the plugs, price, and drugs, right? Acting like Tupac, but can never stomach this thug's life. Yeah. They saying home is where the heart's at. Better believe that's where it starts at. I'm guessing we'll burn that bridge when we cross that. Respond to my message, do it in all caps, cause time is too precious for you to fall back. Yeah, they saying home is where the heart's at. Better believe that's where it starts at. I'm guessing we'll burn that bridge when we cross that. Respond to my message, do it in all caps, cause time is too precious for you to fall back. Yeah, never been the one you should play close. Divine preacher, rebuke the murder that Mace wrote. Just stay woke, cause this ain't the type of evil you pray for. I'm a black sheep that went on a lamb and became a scapegoat. I'm the one that they hate most. I'm the one that they scrutinize, but I ain't the one that's screaming these real and going to move for lies. Home is where the heart's at. You should know when the truth arrives, but when they lead you to lies, there is nothing to utilize. Yeah, here's the information, now you decide. Not adding up, now that's the new divide. Who's surprised? Not me. I've been daring all these devils to stop me. At the top of the draft, who's gonna mock me? Yeah, they saying home is where the heart's at. Better believe that's where it starts at. I'm guessing we'll burn that bridge when we cross that. Respond to my message, do it in all caps, cause time is too precious for you to fall back. Yeah, they saying home is where the heart's at. Better believe that's where it starts at. I'm guessing we'll burn that bridge when we cross that. Respond to my message, do it in all caps, cause time is too precious for you to fall back.
You rock on that one?
It's cool. We spitting.
Alright. The next song in the lineup is by Planet Asia, NugLife, and Rem, and it's called Running Laps.
Brought to you by Alkaline Genetics. NugLife Productions. Fish, sweeter than the candy kiss, top quality, alkaline genetics, premium smoke, indie with the indica, strong kick, roll up the bliss, spliff at the cinema, honey gram snapping these plants tasting like cinnamon, the hell that I inhale sends a signal through the tenement. Rep gang, this shit is different. We cocaine kick flipping on X Games. Don't be a drag, lively up yourself. Keep the pretty package, and if you don't like it, go and fuck yourself, pun intended. Respectfully, disrespectfully, bother me a little, but you never get the best of me. Especially the shapeshifters. I'm Houdini with the escapism. In this haunted house of rock and roll and racism. Costume jewelry and fake wisdom. How many times I showed you how to make dinner? Using my common sense like a communist. And smoking nothing but snapper in the audience.
Big boy, Rem, Asia, what up? You got y'all want the work but won't do the hours. So they out here shooting the shots without the gunpowder. The trees lit like a campfire. Burned till I couldn't bear no more, but now I'm Budweiser. Blow it down in restaurants, dump ashes in the lettuce. Still bounce back, keep it kinetic. Great aesthetics when that Bud Light. And I ain't talking small chicken when I say I'm about that NugLife. And now let's think about at least an acre. The alkaline genetics, T-Rod leader, cause I got a baker. Organic smoke toast has never been them. My leaf raps and make a kidnap, no ransom. My mama own the land, you can never rent space in it. I reek cause the reefer clip on me like a pendant. And I bring mines already roll, cause y'all bloods be having more air pockets than sinking boats. And me and Asia ripping front toe, riding on Adam Clayton. We in the east, but with the west fragrance. Yo, Asia, what up, man? Big chain, big walk shit, big Brooklyn shit, man. Big fresh stuff shit, girl.
Alright. Third song in the lineup by Amber London, Servin Fiendz.
Bitch.
My goofy ass. I finally realized why everything sounds a little bit quieter over here because I got these headphones on over this hoodie.
Serving the fiends, the underground queen. Niggas know what the fuck I mean. Pop my green, popping the beam. I'm coming out clean, I'm on the scene. You can't stop it about my profit. Niggas be dropping on the flow, on the go. Spitting that crack, go selling that bitch on the low. Nigga get back for the truck, go pop. Not selling my soul, no, I won't go pop. Straight out the jungle, niggas ain't humble. All of my stats be jumbo now. Let me tumble now when I'm on the block. Serving the rock, back to the fiends. Second that green, all black in the back. Bitch, take out what you see, not playing no games, not saying no names. Don't get fucked up, bitch, stay in your lane. Before I come back, bitch, spraying them things. Hoes, no, I'm changing the game. They calling the cops, I'm sorta with bros. I ain't trying to get caught. Some of these bitches be crisscross. Big boss in this bitch like Rick Ross. Clothes and whips from the O's and zips. At the popo, ask for the closure list. For a bitch like me, gon' load the clip. And your soul gon' live. We supposed to sip that activist. A chick like me gon' slap a bitch. I got stacks to get. My nigga Perk, Peter Swerving King. He hit me up after serving Benz, bitch.
Babylon Cartel Radio.
All right. Next song in the lineup. You actually threw this one this way tonight. It's Big Body Benz, and it's by Tony Shhnow and Big M. This shit was going. Was. Let this shit ride in too? Right. We still in this.
I wipe it down like a big body Benz. I thought she was bad until I met a friend. My wrist cost a condo on sipping her rent. Don't ask me about nothing I spent. I take money, I can't take hints.
Oh my God.
I can't tell time cause I think they snitching. My diamond hitting like Andrew Bynum on the court with them Pistons. I got the only fan model hoe stalking me. I put the rest in my ear, no one talk to me. If you like show and tell, then you a cop to me. I got them carrots on me, but I'm rolling up broccoli. My money longer than Mario Odyssey. She know I'm toxic, I lie to her honestly. She wanna take trips in the whip, cause the roof got stars and she in the
I like the album artwork too. Right?
She get Netflix and dick, I don't know how to date. You think that she perfect, I think she okay. She tighten the grip when I grip on her waist. I grab the top nut on her face. I wipe her down like a big body Benz. I thought she was bad until I met a friend. My wrist cost a condo on sipping her rent. Don't ask me about nothing I spent. I take money, I can't take hints.
They didn't have to snap like this. They really didn't. Alright, so the next song in this playlist is Babe Shaker, and it's by a group called Motion Control.
This is real gameplay. It looks good. It's supposed to be skateboard gameplay. It's a lot better than where it was at. The movement, the controls look smooth. The body looks more real. Don't look stiff when they land and shit. But I don't know if this is legit. This is supposed to be skateboard footage. It do look good.
It better be good. As long as people have to wait for it. You rocking with this?
It's smooth. This type of shit you can't really go wrong.
It's like, everybody complains about this. They not to set sense. It's not some whole ass shit.
That was it?
Yep. Quick track.
That's kind of short.
It's the last song of the night. It's by Jawn Rice and Craig Peyton, and it's called Searching. This is also not that lengthy of a track either. It's only like 3 minutes. Add it?
Huh?
You gotta add it now? All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. But you know, before we dip, Gotta ask y'all to show us a little bit of love. So if you can, like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your people. Because you know some of them need it. And remember, if you want that raw, uncut, like we were telling y'all earlier, slide over to Patreon for some of that exclusive content. And we DJ. So we just shared a whole 9 tracks with y'all. But if you want even more music, slide over to our websites, tap in with us over there. We got what you need.
Earnsworld.com, alsonothing.com.
That part. And, if you're out there and you're feeling generous, want to scratch our backs while we scratch your backs, hit that Cash App.
We appreciate y'all rocking.
Something. Help us keep the lights on around here.
Facts.
Until next time, though. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Hold it down.